Welcome back to the coverage of Euros Weekend, the best show on Twitch, YouTube and Facebook, all streaming at the same time. We got some high-profile dueling action going on, and in the third round we have a match between two juggernauts of the game. In fact, fortunately enough, our scorekeeper got fixed seatings to all of the national champions, so I just need to run down the pairings, the first couple of 30 or 40 seats, and then I can see who all of these national champions are going up against. And in one case, I saw Errikos Bek as the opponent, and then the national champion is also quite a good player, so I felt like that's a good feature match, so let's give it a try. Without further ado, let's bring the players in. From Greece, we got Errikos Bek. Hey, how are you feeling today?
Pretty good, confident.
You're always coming super prepared to these events, you're almost always in the top card. What is your secret?
I just play a lot with friends and practice for the events.
And you also, the Greek community is so very good. They have, I think, 1 or even 2 European champions. You came close before. Is it going to happen this weekend? Is that your goal for the weekend?
I mean, obviously the goal is to qualify for Worlds, but it's a step at a time. I just want to win my next match and go on from there.
Okay. Are you like 100% sure you're going to make day 2?
I mean, you can't be 100% when you play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think my chances are really good.
Okay, and I think your chances are really good as well. Please have a seat. His opponent is going to be a very big stone in his track. Here we got Czech Verma from Germany. Hey, somebody said that my ego was getting the better of me, now I brought Czech in and I'm just feeling small again. How are you feeling after taking down German nationals?
I'm fine, I'm excited.
If you say you're excited, you also have to show you're excited, not like but you also were very relaxed at the German National Championship. Is that part of your strategy, that you just stay calm, or what's the secret behind that?
Yeah, I always try to stay calm during I'm playing, yeah.
You both guys are undefeated at this point in time. What do you think about your chances in the feature match against Errikos?
I think I have a good chance. Everyone is beatable, as I already said, at German Nationals, yeah.
Okay, so you're not feeling too bad. Do you know what each other is playing?
No.
Okay, so it's a bit of a surprise. So please have a seat as well. So let's roll the die to see who's going to be allowed to go first. Oh, there's 2 if you want. Yeah. Okay. So Errikos got a 11 with 2 dice. And that's a 3. Polar opposites. Who wants to go first?
I will go first.
All right, Errikos wants to start this match between these 2 veterans of the game. With that, let's give it up for Marcello Barberi and Daniel Neville.
Hello and welcome to round 3 of the European Championships. I mean, we've had quite a day so far already.
Yes.
We saw a draw in round 1 with the Dutch national champion in Striker versus Salomon Great. And then the next round, we saw Harpy Ladies defeat Salomon Great.
Yeah, I'm still shocked about that one. Honestly, I think if the deck would have been explored more, it would have actually been possibly the best deck for the format. I want to go as far as saying that if built while deeply thinking about it. I think it has so many good cards that they were really shown in our past match, and in the end I think it dominated it quite
and getting that
match.
competitive edge of like your opponent just looks at your cards and they're like, I don't know what any of these do. It
is definitely an advantage, and it is what Jack relied on, even though as not extremely, at the German Championship earlier this year, where he became champion playing Altergeist.
Yeah, I mean, these are 2 super high caliber players. Jack, current German national champion, the 2nd largest national championships this year in Europe, over 1,000 players. And then Errikos as well is like, he's a veteran of the game. He has been topping consistently. He is a former Greek national champion. Like these guys are going to be playing to a very high level, and I'm super excited to see how this matchup plays out.
The key thing being Jack confidence. I don't think for someone as young as him, it is something we see often, but he just became champion, so it is totally understandable. And as we saw yesterday, the German community at the moment, it's probably the strongest in Europe, I gotta say.
For
and in general, he said that everyone is beatable. He proved it at German Nationals, and he wants to prove it again.
He proved it with an underdog deck. And guys are they're set up now, so we can talk about the decks. Jack is back with Altergeist.
Yeah, no surprise there. He has been playing the deck for a lot right now. He was successful, and people are still not catching up as much with the deck.
Yes. Yeah, and the deck has like certain hands which are just so powerful. Like if your opponent's going first and you open Altergeist Multi-Faker with infinite impermanence, it's such a massive swing.
Yeah, and as we saw at German Nationals, he still decided to main deck evenly matched, even though he wants to go first, just as an option of, okay, do I lose this die roll? I can have the blowout of evenly plus Faker, which is just ridiculous
I mean,
as much.
Against Sky Striker and Orcust in this field, evenly matched is insane. If you can destroy the counter trap of Salmon Great evenly is also good. So I think it's a really interesting choice.
Yeah.
Errikos though is playing Thunder Dragon, and Thunder Dragon has a really good matchup into cards like evenly matched because it's not impactful enough, and we know that it has a decent ability to play through hand traps. So we'll have to see if Jack is going to be able to find a footing against the Thunder
no surprise
Dragon
at all. Again, Errikos is one of the most consistent players in Europe. He is friends with a lot of the guys we have seen yesterday, like Rafael Neven, and so I'm not surprised that he is playing the same deck as them. And unfortunately, Jack's decision to main 9 entrops, which is a good number.
Yes.
3 of them, unfortunately for him, are DD Crows.
Not what you want to use on Thunder
It is
Dragon.
really good card against the 2 most played deck, as we saw in the breakdown, which are Salamangreat and Orcust. Not so much against this version of Thunder.
For sure. But the players are ready. Without further ado, we will hop over to the match and see how it goes. So we saw Errikos win the die roll. He said, I'm going first. Didn't even think about it. There's a chance he knows that Jack is likely to be on Altergeist because these players are going to have been paying attention to the national championships, especially one as high profile as German nationals. Regardless, I think Thunder Dragon is going to choose first always.
Yes, and even though Errikos is going to go first, we do see the evenly matched in Jack hand. So even though, as you said, it is not as powerful against Thunder Dragon, we might just see a blowout there.
Yeah. So, I mean, if Errikos knows he's against Altergeist, he's going to be aiming to go for as much spell and trap interaction as he can. What cards does he have that will let him interact against cards like evenly matched?
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one is the Red Abyss, which is the one you summon with the Agarpain usually. And it is pretty much about that, because we saw a lot of people cutting the Zombie Stein now and replacing it for 38, which will still be very relevant here, because Pot of Extravagance is drawn by Jack, which is an extremely good card to open.
Yeah.
But since you have to use it at the start of main phase 1, you can't really hold it, so we'll see how this goes. The end from Errikos isn't the greatest though. He needs to find a little bit more, but even having Brotor like that, it is really good, so
yeah. And looking into the later games in this match, we can see that Errikos has access to cards like Denko Seka and Pankratops, both of which are very strong against this Altergeist deck, I feel. So I think it's really crucial here that Jack can get a footing in game 1, particularly if Errikos has a weaker hand than he would like. If he can find footing here, then Jack will be in a very good position.
But yeah, unfortunately there is no entrap in Jack hand, and as long as you draw and you're able to summon 2 monsters plus 1 of the wyverns, then it is the full Guard Dragon combo, which we are gonna see for sure in a few moments. Here you usually want to summon both the Pisti and the LP under the Beat Cup, so
yeah, and it's crazy that because of the way the dragons work, you're able to just set up like Wyvern Buster or Collapse Serpent will search the other, and then you can set up both of them to turn both into guard dragons, and then just like we see here, he's going to be able to make his triple burst dragon pointing down and just resolve all the effects to the same zone.
You should always make Pisti before, because it's just better than going directly for triple burst, just in case it plays well around entrops.
Yeah, exactly. Because if the Elfie was hand trapped, like an ogre or something, then
yeah,
you're
it would be a lot worse to have just a triple burst. Well, you could at least resolve the Pisti, which is even more relevant because Yar drew the Brotor, so he can summon that back. Now he will go for the Agarpain very soon, but we don't want to make the mistake that happened yesterday with Jay Quincy, where he actually summoned Agarpain in the wrong zone and he couldn't resolve it. So
That is definitely something that we should be avoiding here. And we see Saryuja coming down.
Yeah, Saryuja coming down, then the Wyvern, and the Pisti still has to resolve, I believe, so you will be able to summon the Brotor back.
Yeah. He's got a lot of stuff going on here. Definitely not what Jack wants to be seeing. Ideally, though, if Jack top decks something like an Impermanence or else a second evenly matched, he could be in a really strong spot here. He unfortunately does not have the Multi-Faker to back up the evenly matched, though. And again, this is an issue with playing evenly matched in this format. I mean, we showed the deck breakdown last round and the round before, and there's a lot of Thunder Dragon in the field. Again, since the start of National season, it's just like week on week, Thunder Dragon just increasing and growing and growing and growing. And, you know, some players just aren't paying attention to it. And perhaps it's a case that you just accept that there are certain matchups that you can't win in such a wide field. Like, we have the big four decks, but I think there are plenty of decks that are completely viable, like Subterror and Necros and the Harpy Ladies, potentially. Which means, you know, you have to have kind of a deck that can deal with a very diverse range of threats.
Absolutely, and now, since, as we were saying, he outdrew the Brotor, he is able to extend his combos even more, and this is a cute interaction with Saryuja. He can special summon the Phantasme, because it is a dragon, so it is searchable in this deck. If you're playing against Sky Striker, for example, you might want to have access to it, so nice interaction there.
I mean, worst case scenario, it's just a body on board, and
yeah, which protects you from an interaction, which is not bad. Like, for example, like
it makes Impermanence a lot worse here.
Yeah.
So, like, if Jack wants to clear this board, he needs exactly evenly. Alternatively, if he can draw something like Solemn Strike, then he can potentially try and set up for a following turn. But there's going to be a lot of damage on this end board for Thunder Dragon. And it's very difficult for him to prevent that. We see Chaos Emperor King of Armageddon coming down. This is this season's prize card. And yesterday we saw this doing a lot of work. And clearly it's doing work here as well. For people who haven't seen, next season's prize card has actually been revealed on the NAWCQ stream, I believe.
Yes,
and it will be the Link Monster Dual Links Dragon, I believe.
Yes, it is quite a unique card as well. It is very different from what we had seen previously, because it is still a Link 4.
Yeah.
But it has some quite unique flavor to it, I would say, because basically it allows you to banish a Synchro Dragon from your extra deck, and then he summons a token with attack equal to it and every other stats. The only thing that's missing is effect, because otherwise it would have probably been way too overpowered. But
yeah, there are a lot of good Synchro Dragons in the game. Like Hot Red Dragon Abyss, who's in play right now.
Indeed. So the very good synergy of the Chaos Emperor is that if you open Sekka's Light, then you should be happy enough and you can just use it to summon. But in this sort of hands where you do not see the Sekka's Light, you're able to use the Pendulum effect too, which is very relevant. So nice opening here.
And again, this goes back to a point that I was talking about last match, where, you know, Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy of the End is such a classic, iconic card, and here we have a new updated version that's seeing play. I mean, it's only a one-of in the decks that are playing it, but it's such a strong card, and it's, you know, it provides an amount of the identity of this deck.
Anyway, Faker is picked up, so even though it is very tough to out this board, he could try, or he could preserve this information and just scoop it up.
So the cool thing here is Hot Red Dragon Abyss doesn't negate the activation, it negates the effect, which means Multi-Faker will still be able to activate. So, I mean, Jack is at least establishing a board here. He'll be able to get a Silk out of his deck.
Yeah, but the Phantasme is able to negate the Silk, which is also a very big deal at the moment. And unfortunately, as we were saying, the 38 completely shut down the possibility of from Jack to use the Extravagance.
Yeah, so we see Meliseek being picked up instead. Realistically here, he is probably wanting to go into a Hextia, but it's an awkward position because if he normal summons a monster, one of them will get bounced, and there's no easy way for him to set up just going into a Hextia with a monster backing it up. So Hextia comes down, Meliseek's going to be able to activate to add an Altergeist monster from his deck to his hand.
Yes.
He's looking at Marionetter. Marionetter, a great card for this deck.
Yeah,
He'll
the
be
better
able,
one since he still has the normal, so...
Yeah, he'll be able to get Protocol if he wants, or else Manifestation. But Protocol is generally the first one you want to get. If he activates Protocol for no effect, then he will be able to negate the Hot Red Dragon's effect with its effect negation ability. Unfortunately, he's not able to get maximum value from Marionetter because he would love to bring back the Multi-Faker and get its effect, but it has already been used this
Yeah,
turn.
also it is relevant to say that when you use Faker, you are locked under Altergeist monsters, so it is not like here he could have gone for a Unicorn, for example. That would have been a very good option.
Yeah. Strong position here, though, because he has the Protocol and he has the Manifestation. Protocol will be able to protect Manifestation from being negated by Hot Red Dragon Abyss, I believe.
But at the same time, we do have the Erratic, which can just put it back into the hand now.
For sure.
And search even one more dragon from Errikos deck. He does have the Crusadia package, so that's an option. And that's what we're gonna see now in the end phase, so...
And the Crusadias are something that has only been appearing recently in the Thunder Dragon lists, but have definitely increased the flexibility of the deck. And I think they are a core part of why the deck is performing so well in this format.
Absolutely, and now you can see it was very well played by Errikos. Usually you tribute the Erratic Seal, but he tributed instead the Crusadia from his graveyard, so you can keep it there, and it will be quite relevant, though.
Yeah.
Now it seems very tough. Tsuchinoko gets revealed. One of the few opportunities where Diddy Crow is actually relevant in this matchup.
Yes.
So.
Here it's not. If we were playing in North America, then you would be able to... No, you couldn't even create an SC.
Yeah. It is one of those region differences that does come up sometimes. It was mainly relevant during Mermail format, so...
Yeah. There's a bunch of odd times where it comes up. But thankfully, we're nice and used to our European rulings, so not something we need to worry about. Made Dark Destroyer a much better card here.
So, Phoenix is activated. Manifestation is getting chained, but by how the chain link works, he can't chain Protocol to it because it needs to negate the card, of course. And the Abyss can also chain. Like, basically here it is just a matter of Jack bluffing that the last card, which we know it's an extravagance, could be something good, like a Solemn Strike.
Yeah, a strike would be amazing here. Oh wow, the Multi-Faker is getting to summon. That's interesting. I'm surprised that there wasn't a bit more of a back and forth there.
I think it is a good play because if he negated, then it could have been a weird situation in this point for Errikos. He has to play around the possible set. Also, he could have just used the Protocol to tribute the Manifestation to negate, and it still resolves.
Yes.
So, just because of how unique Manifestation is, since it is not a continuous, you can actually chain cards to it, and it still will resolve, which is quite a unique interaction. I think it's characterized by the Altergeist deck. Like, you don't really see any other cards like that in the format.
Yeah, I mean, Manifestation is just one of those cards that I love. And Protocol as well. There's so many interesting interactions in the Altergeist deck. For example, Protocol protects the activated effects, but it doesn't protect continuous effects. So, like, you can always Widow Anchor an Altergeist monster. You can negate its effects, but not negate its activated effect. So there's a lot of cool stuff.
But
that
yeah,
goes on
Jack has definitely seen enough. It was an impressive opening here by Errikos, even a more impressive follow-up, and he takes game one.
I mean, Jack really played that like a lot better than I thought it could be played. Like, I was looking at the hand and I was like, he has multiple monsters, he only has one trap card, he's not doing anything. But he managed to play as well as he could and apply as much pressure and try and give Errikos the chance to slip up. And
well, we kind of underestimated, I think, the possible comebacks from him if the cards in his hand weren't like 4 monsters and an extravagance, which means he couldn't use any of them. Maybe there was a chance, because if any of those would have been like a solemn strike or a compulsory, like the game could have completely changed.
yeah, for sure.
Now looking at the side decks though, Jack can cut some of the useless cards like Didi Crow or evenly going first, which he's gonna do, and replace them with most likely Antrops. We can see that his side deck is basically composed of just Antrops.
Yeah, I mean, the other options are Secret Village, Imperial Order, and Heavy Storm Dusters, and none of those do anything against the deck which wants to play Second Slide.
Yeah. Something that I wasn't too fond of in like Raphael and some of the playoff deck lists were that if you're playing at a playoff, then you know that your opponent is most likely going to play Striker or Thunder from what we've seen previously.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that in Thunder Dragon you just side the Denko and Spell Canceller or maybe Eradicator Virus as your cards.
Yeah.
But when you go to the European Championship main event, then you have to expect like Altergeist, True Draco,
Elemental Heroes.
yes, anything, RPs maybe.
RPs.
So you do need, I think, Twin Twister or some stuff like that. And Errikos still decided to stick with triple Spell Canceller and Denko,
Yeah.
which I think is gonna really cost him now that we go to game 2 against Jack.
Yeah, it's a more awkward side deck for him for sure. I mean, Denko can be decent against the Altergeist deck,
Absolutely.
but Spell Canceller definitely doesn't do anything, and Twin Twisters is just such a flexible,
It is.
versatile card for dealing with problems.
And I think Jack opened the pot again, so he must be really good at drawing that card.
Nice.
And the rest of his hand also looks pretty cool with, I think, Faker plus Marionetter and a few Entrops. So I really like his position, and we do see a Sekka from Errikos. One of the reasons why you don't want to side Twin Twister is keeping Sekkas in the deck, but sometimes it's necessary evil, we can say.
For sure, for sure. But I mean, realistically, I would rather have a card that deals with my opponent's threats than having that one extra card. Like, one extra card is great. Pot of Greed is a good card. We are resolving extravagance in a very extravagant manner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like drawing cards is great when you don't know what you're going to need because you just want to overwhelm your opponent with more cards. But once you're able to say, hey, look, I know my opponent is playing spell and trap cards, let's like hone in on that and punish it. Then cards
Absolutely.
like Twin Twisters become a lot more valuable, especially because they get Thunder Dragons engraved, so you can banish them for your baby dragons.
Yeah, I really like them, especially because we have seen a trend in Sky Striker where they know that people are siding Spell Canceller and Denko, and they have been playing Summon Limit and cards like that.
Yeah.
Which we've actually seen at the North American WCQ. Like the one Sky Striker player in top 4 outside of Manav was actually maining triple Summon Limit and triple There Can Only Be One. So,
For sure.
like, if you're playing Thunder, then you're really risking it if you don't have Twister there.
Yeah.
You can still Reclusia, I guess, or Pancratops if you play those cards, but it is not as safe. Anyway, fantastic opening here. He will be able to set up a very good board with Go Ogre in hand as a backup as well.
Yeah. Ogre is a nice hand trap to have here. Like we saw, it matches nicely into Saryuta quite often, and it's also good against the Guard Dragon engine. Being able to resolve this protocol to summon Multifaker and grab a Silk is really nice.
Again, here just playing around Denko very well.
You can't play around Sekka's Light.
It's
Kind of like Denko, but it's a spell card and it does nothing similar.
If he sided Secret Village, could have, but
Yeah, I mean, he could have done that.
I wouldn't suggest it.
Yeah, probably not the thing to do. So here's a question. Why are Altergeist Spellcaster instead of Cybers?
Because they were, I don't know, I mean, I guess...
They're Code of the Duelists, so they're first set with Cybers. I guess you can't make every card in a set be Cybers, but they look pretty cybernetic to me.
They could have been, but maybe they didn't want sign-in mining to be relevant later on. That could have been scary.
Sign-in mining.
Or
for
even
multiplayer.
just Lady Debug, honestly. Lady Debug for Faker would have been like ridiculous, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this deck is missing. It would love a way to be able to more easily search Multifaker. Realistically, we saw Sangan and... I think it was just Sangan that saw some play in this deck.
Mystic Tomato as well, actually. There was, I think, it was one of our former European champions who was actually using it. So,
Yeah.
Samir.
But I mean, the nice thing with Sangan is you're able to... If we get any generic Link 1s, which you can make using Sangan, then you can always Sangan into Multifaker on your first turn and just have that ready.
Yeah.
We have a Tsuchinoko hissing. And Tsuchinoko gets negated by the Altergeist Protocol, I believe. Chaos Dragon Legionnaire is coming down.
We still have a chance, honestly. That's what I like a lot about the Thunder Dragon deck, is that usually these heavy combo decks, like for example Pendulum, is not even close in doing what Thunder does when he goes second.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, we discussed quite a bit, I think. I'm not sure if we said it yesterday on the stream or just to ourselves, but, you know, Thunder Dragon reminds me a lot of Goki last year.
Yeah, it does, it does. It is, I think, of course, weaker in a way, just because you could pilot like more Antrops, even in the main deck in Goki, and you played with less cards overall, I feel like. It's kind of similar, but going second, they definitely both have the option to just OTK through Antrops, which is great, so...
Yeah, I mean, Goki was able to have
Wow.
infinite extensions because the monster searched. And at the same time, it also... ooh.
Wow, what a
Spoofing
blowout.
is nice.
Yeah. This is actually devastating for Jack, because he already used this Faker, so he's completely naked, we can see now. The only card he has left in his hand that's relevant is a Ghost Ogre, and he's actually in big trouble.
Yeah, he can Ghost Ogre Saryuja, but this is really rough. We'll have to see if he's able to survive this turn. I think if he can survive this turn, he can really start establishing stuff, because, I mean, the one weakness the Thunder Dragon deck does have is it burns through a lot of resources on turns like this. So if he can make it that Errikos just doesn't have enough valuable resources left.
His
He
hand
might
looks
be fine.
amazing, because he has the Draco, like, art drone, which means that he can just get back to Arborea and just keep extending his plays a lot.
Yep.
On top of that, again, the price card showing how good it is. He can push damage. It could also get him back a Legionnaire possibly if he even gets to banish it. So
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. We've not seen a prize card be as successful at events since Minerva. Minerva, the Xyz monster, obviously very relevant back in 2016, 2017 format, where you could only play it if you had the prize card version. Here,
wow, we see a
Saryuja coming
Saruya.
down.
I'm very surprised by this.
this could be an accident.
Yeah, I
Ghost
don't
Ogre
think.
comes down. He still gets to draw his cards.
I mean, if the card in his hand was really Draco, I'm very surprised by this play. Like, I don't understand it at all.
Double Pancratops and a Nessie.
This is
There's
looking-
also an Arborea, but he has to put the Pancratops back, I think. Keep the Nessie and hope the Nessie summons itself.
Yeah, I'm very confused though. I really don't understand where Errikos wanted to go with this. Like, maybe he got too confident there, and I mean, unless there is a mistake here, and that card is actually Crusader Draco, and it looks like it is, I really don't understand what he went for. Like he could have just summoned back the Draco, add back the Arborea from grave, and also just pop this spoofing for free with the Reclusia.
Keeps the Pancratops and he says,
now-
it's your move.
Wow, another ogre is thrown by Jack, and
Does he just have a set of ogres between hand and grave? He does.
yeah.
And never going to see Marionetta really coming into play, because not only does it get a trap card for the multi-faker in hand, but it's also going to summon the multi-faker from grave this turn and let Jack grab a Meloseek and start doing the kind of small combos that Altergeist likes to do.
It seems like this was very greedy on his side. Like literally, wasn't it just game if he also went for Baller's Word there?
I think so, yeah.
Like he had Baller's Word plus price
Boral
card.
Sword plus Monster is generally sufficient.
Yeah, because even Ogre, like you can't Ogre
Yeah.
because you can't chain it. So it would have been game like most of the times.
Is he playing Boral Sword?
He is.
Wow. Surprised
So-
by how many people are playing Boral Sword, because it had been falling off in the format.
It is. It is not as popular as before, and we're seeing it in more like this known player, I would say. Like the usual consensus is that it is not as good, but maybe after seeing the Utopia double stealing games, Thunder Dragon also
Sure.
want to steal games. So
You already have so many big monsters there.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, this is where Altergeist wants to be. This is their set-up board. He has multi-faker, he has Silk, he has 2 negations, one from Protocol, one from Hextia. Pancratops comes down, and that's fine.
Yeah, but I'm getting very skeptic about Errikos' chances.
For sure.
Again, seeing how maybe the pressure does get to these players on stream. At least the danger doesn't get sniped, which is awesome here. It would have completely changed the turn. He would have been stuck with nothing else.
Yeah.
So, very important 50-50, and he picks up Reclusia.
Thankfully for Jack, Hextia is not providing any link arrows to his opponent, which means that the Crusadia cards are not able to come down for free.
Indeed.
Because that is the one big problem playing against Thunder Dragon. If you have any up arrows on your cards, then you're giving them free summons, which you just do not want them to
Yeah,
have.
it is what makes the matchup against Salamangreat just unfair, basically. And right now they are both considering what to do.
This is a lovely spoofing.
Yeah, this is the interaction
combo.
we were talking about. Since manifestation is a normal spell, a normal trap, you can actually chain things to it and still resolve it. In this case, it was the spoofing, getting the Conquery.
I mean, the important thing with manifestation is it says also on it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't require the second part to happen. And that's why when you shuffle it away, it still gets to summon a monster.
And now it is tough because Pancratops wanted to force the Silk. Now there are 2 Silks, and even if he tries to attack, then there is Conquery coming down.
Yeah. And this is really kind of locking up the board, especially there is a Ghost Ogre waiting in the wings for backup. Errikos is really showing the strength of the danger cards, though. Jackalope unfortunately hits itself, but the strength of Jackalope obviously being that it always guarantees a body. But, I mean, the Thunder deck generally likes to be able to put more cards in grave and just cycle through as quickly as possible, so he would have preferred to hit. And unfortunately, he's going to call it
I was
game
about
there.
to say, because I think time here matters a lot. So Jack takes the second game, and as I was saying, there are about 14 minutes left, and I'm pretty sure that influenced Errikos.
Yeah.
He knows that if his combos goes through, he's probably winning the game, but the combo does take some time, so he doesn't want to end up in a draw if Jack doesn't draw any hand shops. But now things get very interesting, because take a look at Jack's side deck. So
Yeah, so Jack has the Ghost Ogres, which we saw this game, which presumably replaced his DD Crows, and he also has Infinite Impermanence. But what he can also bring in is Effect Veiler and, more importantly, Psyframe Gear Gamma.
Yeah, Gamma is one of the best cards against any combo deck going second. And it will mean that Jack will have at least 15 entrops walking into this game. And that's a very good number. On the other hand, Errikos is not really going to side anything here. Like, unless he mind game his opponent and let him start, there isn't really anything that you want to side in going first in this matchup. The only card probably being Danko, because it should be better than the Phantasme. Maybe for a turn 2, because we saw in game 1 actually Jack could have won through the combo if his cards were strikes. But if Danko is there, then that's not an option anymore.
Yeah, and counter trap cards are really impactful against Thunder Dragon. If you're able to kind of consistently have access to them, then you're in a good position. And Altergeist is definitely one of the decks that can play just real good strikes to interact with the opponent in that way. So we are going into game 3. We're expecting Errikos to start, I guess?
Yes, most likely. We're gonna have to see. It all depends on how many entrops Jack is gonna draw and how many combo cards Errikos can put up on the field. So, nice handshake, let's see. Ooh, and the wrong one is drawn, so driver is picked up by Jack.
That is never the part of that hand trap that you want to see.
Absolutely not. Unfortunately, very, very bad pickup. While Errikos and I can see a danger on a Crusadia. That's all you need.
That's all you need
to really go. Oh, and he has a black dragon as well.
What more do you need in life? You have like 3 special summons for free.
Oh, but actually there is Impermanence Faker. So this is actually a game on our
The ultimate
hands.
combo. I have been reliably informed that Impermanence Faker is just game.
Wow, Impermanence Faker plus another Impermanence on top. This end is absurd by Jack. Even though he threw the driver, he really can't complain about it.
Because he can Impermanence here, and then for the second Impermanence he can follow up with Faker.
Yeah. He's gonna wait, as you can see.
Errikos is like, do you have the multi-Faker? And Jack's like, no, I don't have it.
And if you're Errikos here, you really don't expect the second one.
No.
And you don't expect the Faker, kind of. So it will be devastating here for him.
I mean, the statistical likelihood of seeing 2 Impermanence plus 1 Faker in the hand is, like, insanely low.
Yes, it is.
It is higher than seeing Exodia, but not by much.
At least the Thunder Dragon gets sniped, which means that now he will be able to actually banish it with Wyverbuster.
Yeah.
So Errikos is not out of this, but it will hurt a lot. So
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Saryuja getting interrupted, or perhaps the Guard Dragon combos.
Yeah, it basically depends on whether Jack wants to negate this or not. I think the Dark was very important here.
For sure.
Like, if the danger was sniped, it wouldn't have been even close to this, so... And you can see how Thunder Dragon is such a good deck. It might be possible that Errikos wins regardless of double Impermanence Faker, which I think is the only deck of the format that able to do that.
Yeah. Impermanence Faker is just such a fun combo to pull off, right?
Fun for you, I guess. Not for your opponent, but sure.
That's the best kind of fun combo, right?
Indeed. Okay, so since he picked up the Dragon Duo, he does not get the Hawk, and he decides to go for the regular Thunder Dragon instead, which I'm slightly surprised about, but...
I guess he gets to put the Thunder Dragons back in with Saryuja when he goes into it.
Yeah, and it is also a very decent card to discard with the Brotor if LP resolves, so... Okay, so...
And here again we see the combos that we've seen time and time again.
And wow, now you can see Errikos actually shaking his head.
Nice.
Double Impermanence plus Faker comes down. Will he have enough to fight back here?
I mean, Errikos doesn't have any dragons in graveyard, so he can't summon off Pitsy, can't summon off Elfie. If he goes into Agrafane, then the Silk is going to be able to return the Multi-Faker and return the Agripane as well.
Indeed, and let's just see. I mean, his end is still holding the duo, which is very relevant, but this is where I am confused to why he went for the Thunder Dragon. It seems like that was a little bit of a greedy play from Errikos. He could have ended on double Colossus if he picked up the Hawk.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't, so...
And Colossus can be awkward for the Altergeist player to deal with. They can return one to hand a turn, but if you have two just big monsters...
Yeah, because one you can bounce, as you're saying, but then the second one is really the tricky one, let's say.
Yeah, exactly.
And the driver is still there, like, watching this game.
Yeah, he's just chilling,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, he's basically a Summon Skull, and Summon Skull was used in the anime, so it must be good, right?
I mean, if we do get into time, maybe we
Yeah,
could see a normal summon.
2600. Driver's 26, right? 25.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a Summon
But
Skull.
did he pass back to him?
No, hardly.
I think so. Yes, he did.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
I'm very surprised by this.
So Jack is after drawing Manifestation, which is very nice here.
Yes,
him
he
plenty
did
of interaction.
pass, and year time is going to be relevant once again.
Yeah.
Manifestation is a pretty good pickup. He's going to get ahead in life here. I'm very confused to why he just passed. Like, he could have gone for the Erratic Spheres and Colossus.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly double Colossus if he had the Hawk, of course.
Yeah. Jack is in an awkward position here because he has one Silk on the field and one in his hand, which means even though he'll be able to summon Multi-Faker during Errikos' next turn, he won't be able to summon the Silk.
Yeah, I'm very confused by this, because as I was saying, you could have just gone for Erratic Spheres, then Colossus, then you bounced it back, which means that you get a Brotor that gives you a Levian here for next turn, which is a very good setup by Errikos. Now, he has to rely more or less on what he gets, and it doesn't seem to be as good. He still might be able to win this game, honestly, because
I think
of the
Thunder Dragon
driver.
is in a strong position here.
I agree.
The driver is definitely an unfortunate pickup. And I guess you have to Manifestation, bring back Silk Oitless, and just return Manifestation and one of the problem cards on the Thunder Dragon board. But that's quite an awkward play when ideally you want to be able to just bring back the Multi-Faker and start like accruing advantage.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. Because, like, the only other play he would have was probably fake it into Conquery, but it doesn't really get you there, so...
Yeah.
But let's remember that Errikos is still stuck on the dragons at the moment, so...
Yeah, and the Pitsy here is in a really awkward position because there is no way that he would be able to get an arrow for it. Is he going to tribute summon ever Pitsy?
He seems like he is doing it.
Yeah.
He is. So he normal summoned the Thunder Dragon the old school way by tributing summoning the Pisty.
Yeah.
So let's see where he wants to go from here. He has a few options.
So we see the Manifestation coming down on the Silk. Again, this is the line that we were expecting to see. He'll be able to interact with something on the board, but the Thunder Dragon duo is going to be summoned.
Yeah, and it is a big deal here.
Yeah, Errikos is getting a lot of just power on the board. And especially with time drawing near, Jack needs to be afraid of his life points it might even just be a case that this isn't a game that is won by either player comboing off, but just beats down.
Yeah, we had this is one of the issues for players bringing these more or less controlled decks. I had a few friends who decided to bring this deck, Altergeist, and their main issues was exactly what we're seeing here. It's like, if I'm losing, then I'm probably losing fast, but the games I'm winning, just like Sky Striker most of the times, I'm taking quite some time to win. But the main difference is Sky Striker is really good in time.
Yes.
Altergeist is not. So unless you side some ridiculous cards like Emergency Provisions or like Ghost Sisters, like
Sure.
the Spooky,
Yeah.
then you're not really gonna have an edge once time is called.
Yeah, and those aren't engine pieces, and they make your deck clunkier, so I wouldn't want to be on them. And additionally, you're playing cards like Solemn Strike, which are costing you life points. It's a very awkward position to be in. We see the duo going over the Hextia, and Jack needs to hurry up here.
Yeah, they both need somewhat to hurry up, but we will have Errikos free to do whatever he wants in Memphis too, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a knock most likely. So let's see. Jack options are quite limited. There is only like Faker plus Evenly. If he tops deck, I think he is thinking about that
He
option.
kind of wants Impermanence Faker because he needs to be attacking to apply pressure here. With only 2 minutes left on the clock and it's still his opponent's turn, he's unlikely to get more than one additional turn after this.
It seems like Errikos has a lot of plays available to him in the upcoming turn. So he searched the Hawk, he can actually do it, and then if he is greedy just like he was in game 2, he should go for Saruya.
I mean, he can definitely go for Saryuja here, and he is free to do so. It'll be putting him in a position where he can sculpt his hand how he wants. He's ahead on life points, and he is just, like, he is favored by the clock. He is in a very strong position here. I don't think you have to be too worried with such a strong Thunder Dragon board. Especially, you've seen 2 Impermanences go from Jack's deck. So what does he have left to interact with, aside from the evenly matched? Admittedly, though, Errikos doesn't have any protection from evenly matched at this point because he has lost the ability to access his Hot Red Dragon Archie.
Yes, so now we're getting another draw, and it is an important one. Unfortunately, just picks up the Entrap quite too late. Let's see if he can get any out of this. Do you see any line where he can actually get the damage he needs?
I mean, the Marionetter, it seems like a weird zone to summon the Marionetter too. He has access to Multi-Faker and Melseek from the Marionetter, but realistically, if he needs to find damage, he needs to be able to summon Hextia and have it backed up by something, and I don't think he can manage that this turn. So
yes, you can see this was a game where he might have won if they played it all. But since time is actually a big issue, he most likely will lose because of it.
Yeah,
like maybe he would have lost the game regardless, but he was definitely not out of this because here, as you can see, he can fake her and he has an Ash Blossom to back this up. So
yeah, and at this point in the game, it's definitely where we're seeing it starting to shift. You know, if there were another 5 minutes or so, then potentially Jack could get back into this. But
yeah, he sees the line, he extends the handshake, so Errikos wins 2-1, moving on with a 3-0 record. So looking very good to continue into this day 1. But let's quickly go back to us for the post-match discussion. Well, it was an impressive match.
We saw the German national champion against one of the former Greek national champions. Very high caliber players. They both played it really well. And, you know, it was the kind of the discussion that we've been having constantly. Combo or control.
Absolutely. And we did see some of the downsides for playing control.
Yes.
Mainly the time issue. That's what we're saying. Like, at the moment, I think it is quite established that Sky Striker is the best control deck, I would say.
Sure.
And one of the reasons has to be that it is very good in time. So
yes, 100%. And Striker has that built-in synergy with life points. Both you have Hayate for aggressively attacking, and then you have Kaina for gaining life points. So, you know, you have easy access to dealing damage or gaining life. And we saw there that Altergeist just didn't have that. And then additionally, Altergeist has the difficulty that it needs to have a nice mix of monsters and trap cards. And we saw in that last game there, while Jack had access to impermanences, he didn't see enough other trap cards to really get his synergies going.
absolutely, like how often do you see like impermanence faker even?
Yeah.
And then you still lose the game. So it's
Yeah.
it's definitely unfortunate. The driver probably did it, but like I don't think you can wish for a much better end if you are playing Altergeist.
For sure, and against any other deck in the format, I think Impermanence Faker probably does just seal the game.
It does.
But against the combo deck, which is able to just extend, climb, it just isn't enough.
Yeah, it is just the power of the deck. We have seen how good like the Thunder Dragon is at going first, but still, the reason why it is one of the best decks and one of, I think, the main contenders for taking the European Championship is how good it is at going second and breaking boards even.
Either
yeah,
way, neither of these players are out. I expect to see more of both of them
absolutely.
today. Speaking of, we will go over to Ollie, who is going to be interviewing our winner.
Thank you very much, guys. I just heard Impermanence Faker is really hard to beat, but apparently you did it. So you just said leading up to the interview it was a very hard match, actually. Walk us through it again. What was it like for you? The first game, second game, and then the third game?
First game was like easy because I was able to combo, and then I couldn't lose because I was too far ahead. Then game 2 it was really hard because I couldn't play around Ogre. It was the only hunter that could stop me from OTKing, because like with everything else, like Permanent, Sass, Veiler, I would be able to OTK with Boral Sword, but I couldn't play around Ogre, so I just played through into it and lost.
How does that feel for you? Because you obviously know what cards he's playing, what cards can stop you, and then he has the one card or one of the few cards that can stop you. How do you not get mad when that happens?
I mean, if you get mad, it's gonna
Lose the third
yeah. You're gonna tilt, and that's not good for your third game or your tournament in general.
Right.
So I just played and hope for the best in game 3. Two Fakers, two Impermanence Faker was really strong, but my hand was good, so I was able to like play my second turn and make a board that he couldn't pass.
And at this point, it's kind of easy to ask, obviously, are you happy with your deck choice? It seems like it's putting in the work for you.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the deck. I was really lucky because the deck is really hard and it needs a lot of time to play test and learn it, but I just picked it up after Knoxville, so I had enough time to learn it.
And how long does it take for a veteran like you to really figure out all the little details in a deck like this?
It really depends. Like this is a combo deck which can... The hard thing is not the combo, it's like when you play around cards like hand wraps and back row. So that's really a really hard thing to master. I think you need at least 3 weeks to be able to play.
Wow. So that long, okay. Lots of dedication. So now you're 3-0, very good start into the day. What's different now? You're still staying calm and collected like Jack always does, or there's no situation when you're really gonna go crazy, like, oh my god, I did this, or is this gonna only happen in day 2 when you're making it to the top cut?
Yeah, it's the same, like, I'm gonna play the same as if I lost this game, like, one game at a time and try my best to advance to game day 2 and then top cut.
Right. And what's your secret in between rounds? What are you gonna do now? Talk to friends, I guess?
Yeah, just relax with the Greek guys and Iman.
Okay, free your mind and then it's just one game at a time. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the day. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we see you again. That's it for our round 3 feature match. We are already a little bit behind the main event as always. There might be a chance, if a lot of results are still outstanding, that we can play another round of mini games, which means you guys can win some prizes here in the venue. I cannot promise you that. With that, we're going to take a very short break and then we're going to be back either with mini games or with another match on